So what's the difference between a menopause policy and a menopause guideline? And which one will work best for your business or organisation? In this video, I'll explain the difference between a menopause policy and menopause guidelines to help you decide which document you'll create to help and support your colleagues through menopause. We'll answer these questions. What's a policy? What's a guideline? What are examples of well-known policies in the workplace? And what 4 key questions can you ask to help you decide if a menopause policy or menopause guidelines are best for your business or organisation? Let's start by answering what is a policy. A policy is a formal requirement and can be required because it's in line with the values of an organisation, or they can be a legal requirement, and employees who disregard the policy may find themselves being disciplined or sacked. Some examples of more well-known policies in the workplace are equal opportunities, health and safety, that's relevant if you have 5 or more employees, equality and diversity, discipline and dismissal and grievance policy, sickness and leave of absence, and flexible working. Now, obviously, this is only a small example of some of the policies that workplaces may have. So, do you need to have a menopause policy? Currently, a menopause policy is not a legal requirement, and menopause is not covered directly by its own law. So if you want more information about menopause and the law, feel free to check out my video. So why is a menopause policy important? Well, ACAS tell us, for employers, the menopause is a health and well-being concern for staff and needs to be handled sensitively. It's important for employers to be aware that menopause and its symptoms can affect staff at any time. Being aware of this can help staff continue to do the job confidently and effectively. So what is a guideline? Well, guidelines tend to be general recommendations that are set out by a company or an organisation. They usually provide a good overview of how to act in a specific situation where there's no specific policy. Guidelines, compared to a policy, are more informal. They leave room for flexibility in a wide variety of circumstances. They'll outline and strongly suggest best practices, but as they're only set out for guidance, they won't be enforced. But for all they can be informal, guidelines can still play an important role in a business, and they can be used to help embed a culture of menopause awareness, help and support. All organisations are different with their own set of needs and requirements, so it falls to each individual organisation to make their own decision, whether to go down the menopause policy or the menopause guidelines route. So to help you decide what will be best for your business or organisation, there's 4 key questions that can help you decide: menopause policy or menopause guidelines. The first question you can ask is, what is the level of risk to your business or organisation? Now, as I've mentioned, there's currently no legal requirement for a business to have a menopause policy. Not yet anyway. But it's worth knowing the amount of tribunals citing menopause are on the increase, and they've tripled in the last 2 years alone. And the cost of these court cases is not just the financial cost to the business, but there's also the cost to their reputation. Therefore, you may decide a policy is the route you want to choose. Now, a menopause policy can be seen to be more formal, more enforceable, and it does bring with it a greater level of accountability, and employees are known to follow policies. Policies do tend to be taken more seriously. And a policy can give managers in the workplace more power to investigate and discipline unacceptable behaviours, as well as setting out your clear expectations for everyone in the organisation. The next question you might want to ask is, what is the culture of our business or organisation? Because depending on the culture of your business or organisation, a menopause policy may suit your business or organisation better, or you may feel guidelines will be more effective than creating a more formal document like a policy. And if you then do decide to introduce guidelines, you have your content ready to update and turn it into a policy at a later date, should the need or the requirement be there. The third question you can ask is, how large or multi-layered is your company or organisation? Smaller businesses or organisations may benefit initially from creating menopause guidelines. Because these organisations are smaller, they can quickly outline their guidelines and share with their colleagues. Larger organisations do tend to go with more formal policies. They use them as their compass to guide the vision for the organisation, to ensure they adhere to regulations and laws, and they can be an expectation set by a board of directors. And the final question is, how will you spread the word about your policy or guidelines around menopause? Well, once you've decided which path to take, whether it's a menopause policy or menopause guidelines, be sure to share them within your business or organisation. Have them in a place that's accessible for your colleagues. Don't have them stuck in the back of a drawer or stored on a drive that your colleagues don't have access to. So there you have it, a quick description of what the difference is between a menopause policy and a menopause guideline. Now, well, it's over to you. Which one will you create, a policy or a guideline? Let me help you have comfortable conversations about menopause without the worry of saying or doing the wrong thing. Remember to subscribe and click for notifications of my new videos, and to click the like button too. If you found this video useful and helpful, please share it and tell others about it too.